welcome to this workshop for the Winter 2026 NSD with Venetia Ramsey from Scrapworx. For today's workshop, we are going to create a single page layout using our Lost and Found Essentials pack. For today's workshop, you're going to need some photographs. I'm going to work with photographs of my grandson who likes to dress up and pull funny faces. So you're going to need one photo that measures 10 by 15, 10 centimeters by 15 centimeters, and another two photographs that measure 5 centimeters by 5 centimeters. You can make these a little bit bigger if you don't want to mat them, then you could go probably to about 6 by 6. You'll need that. For this collection, I'm going to be working with some of our laser cutouts, and I'm going to show you how you can customize them to suit the page. So we have this one. I've already used quite a bit of this. So this is like a laser cutout, but just out of the paper, and there is coordinating grey board to go with it. We are going to work with the grey board, and then the coordinating laser cuts that go with that. We're going to work with the arrows. There's a whole lot of arrows, and remember there's all of these paper cutouts have coordinating grey board, but we're going to be working with this side, the ones on this side today. And then you're going to need, well, I've got a full one of the gears that you can see what it looks like packaged. Most of them I've opened up. So you're going to need the papers. The gears will work with this side. I've already started working with it. And then obviously some of the grey board, we're going to raise some of them and leave some of them flat. Right, so let's get started with the patterns. So your pattern papers that you're going to need for the background. I'm just going to pull out what I've got, and we will I'll get you to cut as we go along. These are just what's left over from creating. We'll make something with that. So you're going to need the pattern paper called Rusted Words. This is the one side, but I want to work with the back. And what I've done is I have squished some ink on the paper, sprayed on some water, and splattered on some. We'll do a few more splatters. Squish some ink on the mat, spritz that with water, pick it up with a paintbrush, and then just flicker it onto the background to get a few ink droplets here and there. Okay, and then obviously I left mine to dry, but you are welcome to use a heat gun to set it. Let me just get a cloth to clean with. I'm just going to use a wet wipe. Okay, just going to clean up here. And to make sure that everything on here is dry, we can just dab it up like that. I didn't put a lot, but you can splatter as much or as little as you want, like that. Okay? Right, so that is going to be your background. I have also inked around the edges of this using Vintage Photo Distress ink. Okay, completely optional. You do not, this step you can really leave out if you don't want to. You want to make sure that your paper measures 30.5 on the one side and 30.5 on the long side. Okay. Then for your pattern paper number 2, you're going to need the pattern that looks like this. It's called Mad Scientist. This one's going to go more or less in the middle, maybe a little up, a little bit down. We'll see how we go. Okay, so that's your pattern paper number 2. So you'll see on my sketches and my instructions, I give you pattern paper number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's just in case you don't have the same patterns that I have, or you're working with different paper. I like to teach in pattern 1, 2, and 3. So for pattern paper number 3, it's going to be the one that looks like this. This one is called Remember the Journey. And you need to cut 2 pieces that measures 24 centimeters across and 3 centimeters down. And we're going to have one go in at the top like that, and one is going to go in at the bottom like this. And spacing and, you know, placement, we'll figure that out once we have decided exactly where we want everything to be. Okay, I'm reluctant to stick everything because I like to change my mind. Okay, so that's going to go like that. Then for your pattern paper number 3, oh sorry, I lied, pattern paper number 4, I'm going to be using the back of Remember the Journey. Okay, I want to use these dots. That's the back of this one has got the dots on it. But if you don't like the back of your pattern paper number 3, then you need, out of your pattern paper number 4, you need 2 strips that measure 29 centimeters across, 1.5 centimeters down, and we're going to have one run across something like that. Take that out a little bit more. It's going to run across a little bit like that, and this one is going to go at the bottom here like that. I don't want to do the exact the same. I want some of this pattern paper to stick out, so we're going to put it in something like that. Then for your pattern paper number 5, it's the stripy one. It's called Possibilities. You're again going to cut 2 pieces that measure 29 by 1.5 centimeters, and one is going to go there, and the other one, I think we're going to have it go like that. So sort of the same but opposite. So this one will tuck under like that. I think that that's going to work out really well. With regards to your photographs, you are going to need photo mats. Let's get all of that. I have already cut everything, so we have everything on hand. You're going to need 2 out of your light cardstock that measure 5.5 by 5.5, and they are going to go on there like that. Okay, and you're going to need another one that measures 10.5 by 15.5, so that it becomes the mat for here. Right, and then out of your dark cardstock, you're going to cut a piece that measures 11 by 16, and that is going to go, we're going to mat the photo onto the light, onto the dark. And then bear with me, I'm not going insane. You need 2 pieces of your dark cardstock that measures 8 by 9, and wait before you mat these ones on, because they're going to go behind the frames. Okay, so I am going to ink the edges of my mats. I'll do that with you in a bit. Right, then with regards to embellishments, if you are using all the patterns, all the laser cutouts from our collection, this is more or less what you are going to need. So if I get this piece out here for you, let me see if I can find it. I don't have that one with me. There is another laser cutout. I don't know where it is now. I will find it, but it has these little tabs on it, and we've got this. I'll put if you have a look on your instructions, you'll see what it looks like. I think I've used everything up, and that's why this we've just got this. So we've got all the tabs. These tabs are laser cut as well, and then the chipboard ones. We're going to need those. You're going to need the little arrows. See here, so on here you can see where they are. So like I said, these are the little banners with the little hearts in, the paper ones. I've already taken them out. You're going to need the word memories. You're going to need from your the word, the details documented. It is on your page like this. It will be on this one with all the signs, all the titles, right? Then, like I said, from the arrows, you're going to need 4 arrows. I have, if I show you here, I have matted my tabs mounted them onto the grey board so that I can get a bit of height. Okay, they have all been inked. I'll do that with you. With regards to the gears, 3 of them, these 3, I have put onto the grey board, and these 3 I have kept just like that. I'm going to show you how we do all that now. And then you need the 2 paper frames. You have the option, if you want to, you can mat them. Goes onto this one, sorry. You can cut out these frames and mat them. You can mat these onto the grey board as well if you want the extra height. I'm not sure I want to do that yet, but we'll see as we go. We'll see if I need the little bit of extra height. Okay, so the 2 frames, and then I'm going to show you how to ink the title, and I'll also show you how to ink to get the gears to look like that, because that is the pattern paper that I've used to get the gears to look like that. Let me get them for you so I can show you what I did. Alright, let's get all the inking out of the way. I'm just going to get rid of my photographs quickly so I don't get any ink on them. Right, I'm going to do the edges. Okay. So what's nice about these paper cutouts is that you can, because you see, if I used it just like this on my page, you can already see that it's getting lost. And because we've printed it, and I'm working on the light side, and the distress inks, the inks, not the oxides, are translucent, so a lot of the pattern will come through. So basically for the title, I would like to keep that one blue. So I'm just going to pick up some ink and just blend that onto my title like that. I'm trying to get even coverage, but I don't want to miss anything. So I don't want to leave any light areas. I'm trying to make sure I get the whole piece covered. Okay, and then I'm holding my title, because it is paper, it is going to be a bit flimsy. So you just want to secure it, and then you can see that I'm just rubbing ink up and down. Here and there I am trying to go around. But for most part, I'm just going to slide my blending tool up and down to make sure I get a good amount of ink. You can see I missed a spot there. We've got that on there like that. Now I'm just going to pick up some ink, and I'm just going to put pressure with no blending, no rubbing up and down, just pressing some ink onto the title to get it a little bit darker. Okay, just a little bit of pressure. All right, just like that. There we go. So I'm just going to trim that little piece off there. And this little piece off here. Okay, so if I hold this up, hopefully it'll focus, and you can see that the print is still coming through because the distressed inks are translucent. So I've still got a bit of that print coming through, and also when I put it onto my page now, you can see by how much more it is actually standing out. That makes a lot of sense, but you know what I'm trying to say. You can see now that you can see it, and it doesn't fade into the background. To get the gears to look like they did, you're just going to do the same thing. We're going to take, so I'm working with prize ribbon. I'm just going to add a little bit of prize ribbon ink, go round and round and round like that. I'm going to take some vintage photo, do the same thing. So because Vintage Photo has a bit of an orange brown, when it goes over the blue, we'll get a bit of a greenish blend coming through. We'll get some of the green coming through. I'm just going to add a little bit more. And there, you will notice that I'm building up color. Adding a layer and then going back, picking up a little bit more, adding another layer. I'm going to add a little bit more of the blue here. And it's too light there, so we're going to add a little bit more there and here. Just adding layer after layer. And that's how you build up the colors. Okay. Right. And then I'm going to pick up a little bit of ground espresso and just add a little bit of the darker brown here and there. Like that. And then just spritz on a little bit of water. And just leave that to do its own thing. I'm not going to blot up any excess water just yet. I'm just going to leave that for a little bit and let that water just do its thing. Let it move around. We can just shift it up out of the way and just leave it to keep doing what it needs to do. And then what I would like to do is add a little bit of Vintage Photo to the bottom of my title. Just going to pick up some and just blend over like that. I am going to work in little circles here because I just want to catch the very, very bottom of my title. You don't have to, you could just leave it in the one color if you wanted to, like that. I like that. And you can see that it looks still, for me, it looks a bit blotchy. So if I take the blue again, the prize ribbon, I'm not adding any extra ink to my foam, just working that brown that I've added, the Vintage Photo, just working it in a little bit. And you can see how nice that creates that little bit of shadow. All right, we'll take that out of the way. Let's go back to our gear. Clean up. Now you can blot off any excess water and then just leave that to dry, and you have a really awesome gear that now will show up on the page as opposed to the ones that are just fading into the background. Right, if you didn't want to do the inking, I did do a darker color on the back, so you could then use that one if you wanted to, if you went into techniquing everything on that you have. All right, so I did this one as well, Amazing Moments. For this one I've added, I won't be using this one, I'll use it for something else, but for this one I put ink at the bottom and at the top like that. On this one I have just done the ink at the bottom like that. Okay, so you can play around and see what works for you and what doesn't. Right, so my photo mats, I would like to just add a bit of ink around the edges. I'm going to use the ground espresso. I'd like a very dark inking. Right, so this is not doing what I wanted to. I want it to be dark, but I'd like it to also be a smooth. So I'm going to go with a blending brush instead of the foam. And I'm just going to work it around like that. You can see it gives a bit of a softer finish to the edge. I just want a hint of color here. Okay, so that is the photo mats done. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to attach my photos to my mats, and then we can start to assemble the page. Right, I like to use tape to attach my photo to my mat. So my photos have been matted. We can start to assemble the page. So this one I'm going to have here, more or less. We might, like I say, nothing's set in stone. We might just maneuver things around, and then I have all my little embellishments in my tray that we're going to work with. I'm just gonna, it's easy if I just unpack it all here now. Alright, so my plan, the plan is to have a frame here and here, and that's why I say we need these. So these are going to go behind here. That'll go there. And this one is going to go over here. Something like that. And then I want to put picture inside there, and I'd like to put a picture inside here like that. Okay, then I want to, we'll attach this over here, and each one I'm going to give a little tab like that, a little tab over here, and I want to give this one a tab over here. I have this that says the details documented, so I'm going to put documented over here, and I want to have the details here, and the details we are documenting are the memories, so I plan to have that over here like that. And then just to we'll put the grey board, ones that I've matted on the grey board, I have 3. I matted 3 onto the grey board. Okay, so I'm going to put, so we've got height here, we're going to have some height over here, and we're going to have a bit of height here, and then I have 3 gears and cogs that are not on the grey board. So we can have one over here, we'll have it go under, and the same with this one. We'll have this, we have this one there and this one over here like that. And then the same here, we're going to have the gear go under and this one go over. So you can see I'm creating my 3 little clusters. I think we'll pop this over here. So for me, that means because I want it to lay over here, I am most likely going to fetch the grey board, or I could obviously Yeah, I'm not so sure I want it under, but I do think I want it to go on top. The only way I can do this is to swap it around like that. Yeah, that'll work. We can have that one there. I have another one that I want to have over here, a little tab, and go there, and then we have another one that's going to go over here more or less. To draw attention to my documented, I'm going to add 2 little arrows over here. And the details, I want some attention here, so I'm going to add the details over here as well. All right. My title for my layout is called Everyday Life, and originally I thought it would fit in there quite nicely, but I'd like to fill up this space, so I'm going to cut my title apart, and that is easy enough to do like this. It is just going to require a little bit of ink on the end here to cover up the white, and that can go there. And then just to, if you turn it the wrong way around, you can see exactly where it needs to be neatened up, like that. And then turn it the right way around again and just add a bit of ink to hide that white. And I kind of like it, the life to go in here and everyday over there like that. All right, so where we have this little gap now, we can shift this over. And then that just balances everything out. All right. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put glue on everything, and then I will be back to assemble the background with you and stick down the embellishments. All right, I'll see you in a bit. Okay, so we're going to start to assemble the background, and what you're going to need to do, the first one that's going to go, pattern paper that we're going to attach is your pattern paper number 3. It was the one that's called Remember the Journey, and you're going to attach this one 1 centimeter from the top of the page. Okay, I know I've turned it, it's just easier for me to work like this. 1 centimeter from the top of the page and 4 centimeters from the left. So there's my 1 centimeter mark, there's my 4 centimeter. I'm just going to make another little mark so I can get it straight. Okay, so we're going to attach that one. We're going to apply some glue. There we go. So this one is going to go, just make sure I've got it going the right way. 4 centimeters from the top of the page, 1 centimeter, listen to me, 4 centimeters from the left and 1 centimeter from the top of the page, like that. Oops. Getting everything stuck to my page. Just double check it that it's 4 and 1, okay? All right. And then we're going to attach your pattern paper number 4, which is the back of Remember the Journey. And that is this one. And this one is going to be attached 5.5 centimeters. No, I like 3 centimeters from the top. Okay. I'm going to attach this one 3 centimeters from the top and about 1 centimeter. Is it about 1? Yes, and 1 centimeter from the left. Okay, so we're going to attach this one. So it's the dotted one, and it will be your pattern paper number 4. There's my mark there. Just shift it over, put it too close. Right. So here we go. Needs to go 1 centimeter from the left. And we have it 3 centimeters from the top. Just checking that I've got it straight. Yes. Yes. Okay, and burnish that in place. Then your next pattern that you're going to put down is pattern paper number 2. And this one is going to go 4 centimeters from the top and 2 centimeters from the left of the page. So 4 from the top. And 2 from the left. And then we can stick that down. I think before, just remember when sticking this that we're going to slide this other one in. So my suggestion is always to just add a piece of tape at the bottom here. We can always pull it off afterwards. Could go ahead and add it first. This also works. Okay, sorry. Let's just tear that. Okay. So now we know we must add glue only to there. Glue all around the edge. Now we can just put that. Okay. So remember what I said, 4 centimeters from the top, 2 centimeters from the left. There's my mark, there's my mark. There you go. Right, and before I burnish this in place, I'm just going to double check that I've got it straight. 4 centimeters from the top, 4 centimeters from the top, 2 from the left. Let's see, it's gone a bit skewed, so I'm just going to put my ruler there and just give it a bit of a push on the side here to get it straight. And there we go. And give that a good burnish. And then we're going to add our pattern paper number 5, which is the possibilities. And this time we're going to have it 1 centimeter from the right. And it is going to run flush against the top of this one. Okay, we just need that 1 centimeter from the right and flush against the top. Right? Got that. Make my mark. There we go. Add some glue. Okay. So I have it flush against that pattern paper and 1 centimeter from the right. And I'll just turn it upside down so I can see that I have it where it needs to be. Nothing is sticking out the end here. And there we go, there's that one done. Right, then we go back to, if I can find where there it is. Remember the journey, your pattern paper number 3. It is going to same 4 centimeters from the left of the page, and I would say about 1 centimeter from the bottom of the page. Let's see if that's going to work. We might shift it down a little bit, but it's going to slide in underneath there. There's my 4 centimeters, my 1 centimeter. Yes, I think that's going to look good. We can stick that in place. There we go. Slide that under. There's my 1 centimeter mark, my 4 centimeter mark, and in it goes. So before I burnish, I can always double check that. Yes. Yes. Alright, let's give that a good burnish. Right, and then before I stick the rest, we can then remove the tape backing from the bottom here, so we can attach that down in place. Alright, so the next one we're going to add is your pattern paper number 5, which is possibilities, and it is going to go 7 centimeters from the bottom of the page, and this time it'll go 1 centimeter from the left of the page. So there we go. Okay, let's get that one. So this is the stripe. Okay. Seven centimeters from the bottom of the page, 1 centimeter from the left. Let me double check it. So, well, let me just see here. Okay, so if we're doing it from the top, it'll be 23.5 centimeters from the top of the page. So I want the top to be there, not the bottom. So if you're measuring, if you want to know where the bottom of it's going to go, it's 5.5 centimeters from the bottom. But you can see what I've done. You can see I've made my 7 and I've put it to go there. And then your pattern paper number 4, which is the back of Remember the Journey. This one is going to go, let's see. So if that is 7, we're going to make it here 6 centimeters from the bottom of the page is where the top of it will go, and 1 centimeter from the right of the page. Okay, so I worked from the top. Normally I would work from the bottom. I would give you the spacing from here. Don't ask me why I've done it the other way today. There we go. Like that. You can even get some glue behind here. There we go. But you can see. So if you were measuring from the top, that one would be 24.5 centimeters from the top. Once you've got it all in, you can just burnish everything in place. Seem to have missed the glue in both corners. Just make sure I've got that straight. Yes. All right. There we go. Just shift it, sorry. When I burnished, I must have pushed it over because the glue is still a little bit wet. It's still a bit slippery. Obviously the glue is wet. There we go. That's better. Right. I always say hold in place and burnish. Didn't listen to my own advice. Right, so before we carry on, we need to get the photos sorted out. So I'm going to attach my frame to my backing. Again, you are under no obligation to do it. You can put a big enough photo to fill this whole frame if you want to. I just like the idea of having the small photo matted inside here and some of the backing showing. Remember what I said, the glue, because it's still slippery, hold it in place and then burnish. Okay, we'll just give that a bit of time to dry. We'll do the other one. Let me get the other glue, it'll be better. Much better. Place your backing on your frame. Place the frame on the backing. Looks like I just need a little bit more glue here. Right, and then I'm going to attach my photographs more or less in the center of here, like that. Okay, I want to put the light picture in the dark and the dark picture in the light. Like that. The same here. So we will start by attaching the main photograph first, your focal point. Okay, so I want it to go more or less over here. So let me give you that measurement. So we're looking at about 3 centimeters from the right and 6 centimeters from the bottom. Okay, so I know that I'm not really tucking anything underneath my photos, so I'm okay to stick this one down altogether. Most of my embellishments are going over. I'll check that it's the 3. Just going to shift it over to get it to 3. There we go. And then I'm just going to burnish that in place. Okay. The next 2 are the frames that are going to go in. I want the darker one at the top and this one at the bottom here, like that. So I'm going to just play with them. I want to have them at a slight angle, but not too much of an angle. Remember, I have that goodie going here, so you want to make sure you make allowance for it. And I want to have the picture come off this a little bit. Bring that in a little bit, so that kind of looks like it's going to work for me. So I'm going to just attach them in place. Let's do this one first. If you have more of a photograph over here, then you will want to move your picture up just a little bit. There is space for it, so you can adjust quite nicely by shifting this picture up just slightly. I want it to be more or less hanging off the page. We can even bring it over a little bit more, like that, up a bit. I'm happy with that. I just think that's a bit too squiff. Just make it a little bit straight, a little bit straighter. There we go. Happy with that. I'm getting everything stuck to my page. I'm just going to burnish that in place so that nothing moves. Right, and all that's left to do now is just to add all the little embellishments. Remember, I wanted to add the documented at the top here, like that. And I have the little tab then going next to that, like that. Right. With the tabs over here, we have, remember I said I'm going to bring this one in because of the title. Go over there. So this one I can also then just maybe bring it over. I can either have it here or here. I think here makes more sense. There we go, like that. For the gears on this side, remember I have a flat one and a raised one. I think I'm going to put the raised one, shift it up over there, and then shift the flat one in underneath it. Something like that. And if we swap it, what does it look like if we swap it? I think I like that a little bit more. And bring it in like that. Oops. Yes, I've swapped it. I've put the raised one here and the flat one there. And then I have this little heart banner that I'm going to pop in at a slight angle over there like that as well. And then remember I said I want to draw attention to the documented, so I'm going to put an arrow there, and I'm going to put the other arrow to go a little bit in like that. I like that. Remember we said memories is going over here, like that. Like that. Okay. Very happy happy with the way this is going so far. And then we have the, I think we're going to do a raised one here, like that. I think I'll put it straight. That looks good to me. And then we have another gear going underneath it like this. And you have the other little heart banner, which we're going to pop in slightly under that one. Maybe down a little bit more. There we go. Down a little bit more, like that. Okay. And then we have this, the details. It's just going to sit on top of this stripy bit here, kind of like that, with the arrows drawing attention to the details. Bring it in. Okay, then our last two gears at the top here. So I want this one to go straight like that. Like that. And we have the banner. We can put that a bit over here like that. Shift it over. I'm going to lift that so I can shift this into place. I want it to be flush against that pattern there. Means I can bring this gear down a little bit. Like that. And that one over there like that. I'm happy with that. And the title is Everyday Life. So I want to pop this in here. A very apt title for this page, because this is basically everyday life with this kid. He keeps his mom on her toes. Okay, so for the next little bit, I'm going to add gel lines around. I'm going to put some music on to do that, and I will see you in a bit. Remember, this part is completely optional. If you don't like it, you do not have to do it. Okay, see you in a bit. there you go. That is everything in place. I have created my visual triangle using the gear clusters as the visual triangle to draw your attention to the main photograph. The arrows, besides the fact that they are drawing attention to the word, the details, and documented, they also force you to look in so that your focus is again on the photographs. I have done most of the embellishing and towards the bottom right of the corner, but even though it's very weighted, it works because I didn't put it at the top. I've put it down to brought the weight down to the bottom of the page. Right, I hope that you have enjoyed the process, and I look forward to seeing what you come up with this project. Thank you for watching.